Brokers Alliance and the National Insurance Clearinghouse present a Bravo webinar event. The Elite Producer Program for Life and Annuity Producers. The most comprehensive compensation package in the country. Well, I'm Steve Savant, host of the radio talk show, The Quest for Financial Freedom. And of course, with me is my co-host, Jessica Lopez. I want to welcome everyone watching on our nationwide live video broadcast, our tribute to our Elite Producers Program. You can view this program on www.brokersalliance.com/webinar. And after the broadcast, you want to stay online to our GoToMeeting link and send all your questions to Jessica, who will moderate the Q&A session. Brokers Alliance has created and developed the Elite Producer Program as the total compensation package for financial professionals and those who use insurance products and our support services. What do you do for money? Well, we hope to answer that. That's what my spouse always says, honey, what do you do for money? And then I tell her, I sell life insurance over the World Wide Web, and she says, and they pay you to do that.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. Well, I want to just bring us up to speed, a little housekeeping before we get into it. I want to remind everyone that you can watch this live video broadcast at www.brokersalliance.com/webinar. And remember, you can also view any of our broadcasts 24/7 on our homepage website at www.brokersalliance.com, and you'll come to our front page. Just go to the upper right corner. You'll see a big red button. It says Archives on it. Click, and you can get to any of our videos that we do. It's a pretty cool idea. We also distribute our videos over Vimeo, YouTube, the Insurance News Network, and Agent Navigator. And, of course, don't forget to catch us on our social network, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and where I blog, the Insurance Forum. Well, what do you think about this? We're everywhere people want to be.
Everywhere. You can't miss us.
You cannot miss us. Now, we're talking today not about product, not about who's the number one, this, that, and the other. We're talking about you being number one.
Right.
The agent. And we've developed, actually, I shouldn't say we, Jessica is the architect of probably the greatest compensation package that I've seen in my almost 30 years in the business. Introduce us to the Elite Producer Program. Give us kind of the front-end introduction to tell us why this is way above anything I've at least seen since I've been in this business.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thanks for those props. You give me a little too much credit there, I think. But as far as our Elite Producer Program goes, we realized that being in business 30 years, the brokerage community was really suffering in true support, lacking in true support of the independent producer out there. We also found that there is a large captive agent community that has really a need to kind of get out there, be a true entrepreneur, not rely so much on the corporate side of everything. So we found a way to basically provide high compensation services beyond anybody's imagination. Everybody claims to be the best in service, the best in tools, and everything else. But we found some very unique ways to really make the independent and captive career agent out there their life a lot easier.
Well, I love this compensation package because it drives three basic needs today. One is the serious support, and we're going to talk about new technology, unbelievable software, turnkey kind of networking with us. That's going to be awesome. You're going to look at benefits that I don't think that I'm aware of have been on anybody else's compensation package. And then third of all, the only thing, and you've heard all the songs, we just did AC/DC's Money. We have more money songs coming up throughout the show. The compensation package on the money part, though, how do I get paid, is pretty huge. And really, why don't you talk about that up front? Because we really want to spend this segment talking about the compensation itself because, hey, show me the money, Jessica.
Right, absolutely. And our program is designed to help increase your revenue on average of 32%. This is overall in all of your life and annuity business, fixed and index products. We're here to make sure that you have access to all the core carrier products that you need to offer your client the best option out there. We have 40-plus carriers that are available to you, and we again pick those that we have great relationships with. As I mentioned a moment ago, we've been in business for over 30 years, so we've really had the opportunity to build relationships with the carriers that give us the opportunity to extend bonuses and incentives to our producers in exchange for their production.
Of course, our production is what's driving part of this because our producers have helped us become one of the top 10 MGA firms in the United States. We're number one in Arizona, but
Right.
we're now in the top 10 total production in the whole United States. That's
Right.
awesome.
And absolutely, it sure is. And we make sure that we also build relationships with carriers that offer not only key products, but like we said, high compensation, the tools available like iGo, the digital application process that is available, basically making it easier for an agent to literally take the application over the phone. In fact, all but a couple of our carriers enable you to do the application over the phone. You can basically complete it, fax it to us, and in fact, we have a digital upload tool that is unique to Brokers Alliance, and you can literally do it from our website. So in terms of managing your files and creating less paperwork for yourself, we have built that into our whole system of thinking as well.
Well, when we talk about all these value addeds, it's huge. But I'm really stunned by the actual compensation by product that we're giving. I mean, look at these numbers. When I look at the kind of idea that you've packaged together. I started out in this business, and I was a career agent for almost 30 years ago, and I was making double nickels, 55%. I thought that was great.
Then
I had stumbled into brokerage, and it was 82.5%.
Right.
And then throughout the years, I noticed that we had 100% of the target premium.
Whoa.
And I remember in the year 2000 when Triple X and Triple E regs came online, they said, "Oh, we're going to have to cut back on comp and all this." That didn't last long. And now we're over 100, but you're really talking about products that pay sometimes up to 32% higher than street.
Exactly.
Talk a little about that.
The way that we do this is we do set you up at top street compensation with your carriers, and most of you kind of know what that is. Basically what that is the max amount of compensation that is allowed to be discussed over the course of the carriers and the general agents out there that are offering it. Now, just to give you a couple of examples, say if we took a look at a 20-year term product, I took a carrier that's rated excellent with AM Best. You may be earning anywhere from 85 to 95% compensation on this. We can pay you as high as 126% on this particular product. Now, with an annuity, if you take a look, some of our income products, we have some phenomenal contracts that are out there and available to you as well. And what you're looking at is typically 8% top street commission on this. We're going to pay you 9.5% through this program.
So on the annuities, it could be anywhere from 50 basis points to 100 basis points in addition to what we've been paying on the street.
Exactly. And we have the ability to do this because we do have production requirements that are put into our program. We'll go over that here pretty soon. But with the fact that you're committing to these production requirements, we're able to go in and offer these bonuses to you, and our agents are able to take advantage of it from day one when you start submitting business through our agency once signing up with the Elite Producer Program.
Jessica, I anticipated that the production requirements are going to be astronomical, but really they are well in the game for almost all our producers.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about the threshold of premium and app count that we need.
Well, basically what that's going to ultimately be, and we'll get into another example here in just a moment, but all we're asking for is $25,000 in paid commissionable life premium and or $500,000 in paid annuity premium in order to take advantage of the highest payout possible. Now here's an example of an illustration that I run for an Index Universal Life product, A+ rated carrier, male non-smoker, 50 years old, $2 million in death benefit. And the premium on this turns out to be just over $21,000. Now, taking a look at what your normal street level compensation would be, that would be 85%. All right? So that just means you're going to be over $18,000 in payout from the carrier. With our program, when you take into consideration your total gross payout, that would be the street level you get from the carrier and then the bonus that we give to you. That's going to be 114% at our deluxe option. That's the option with health benefits. We'll talk about that in our third segment. And you would actually get up to 120% with the ultimate option. That's the option without health benefits. And for that option, you'd actually earn over $26,000 on the same case.
On the same case.
On the same case, $18,000 versus $26,000. Which one would you pick?
I'm taking the new one.
Yeah, right?
So if you had your production was 2010 and you knew what your production was, and if I could have shifted that over to this comp schedule, I'd be making maybe 20-30% more,
Right.
just based on partnering with us.
Exactly. Absolutely. Now let's take a look too at a bigger picture. Thinking about the business that you would produce over the course of a year. If you think about what you're currently being paid versus what you could be paid, let's just take a look at another example, 20-year term. You may or may not know this, but the total gross compensation for this particular product is 135%. So that takes into consideration your compensation as the producer and the general agent's compensation. So say you were earning 85% for this product. the remaining 50% goes to your general agent. Okay, so let's think about this in terms of dollars and cents. If you had a case that was worth $1,500 in commissionable premium, think about how much you're actually getting paid on this. You are actually paying your GA $750 on this case. Now think about the services and the tools and the support that you're getting from your existing general agent, and is it worth it, $750 to give up on this particular case? I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. Now, if you take a look at the both ends of the spectrum, and you take a look at the, say, all year long 20 cases, think about how much you're giving up. At $750 per case, 20 cases, that's $15,000 a year.
Well, that's substantial. When you consider, we're just talking about the compensation by product. We haven't got into any of the things we're going to get into the second and third segment of the show. But I'm really taken back. I mean, you're kind of putting all the comp on the table here for us to look at, and usually you don't see that kind of disclosure through an MGA.
Exactly.
So when you're looking at these numbers, like when I see this number, I mean an extra 15 grand in my pocket, I'll take it.
Right. Absolutely.
So when you look at this, I'm looking at the 40. You were talking a little earlier on our carriers. We carry not only 40 plus. I mean, I know it's a lot more than that, and I'm thinking about maybe 15 to 18 carriers are really our core carriers.
Right.
And so when we're framing, where are our carriers? We just don't have 2 or 3 carriers that we have high production with. We have several carriers, which is why we're able to pull this off. So we're really looking to partner with people who see the value not only in the compensation schedule, because everybody kind of plays in the comp game, but all the other ancillary benefits that we're going to present in the second and third segment. I mean, to me, that's just a huge. Why did you do this? Why did you go ahead and do this? I'm always amazed.
Well, just because, in speaking with producers, throughout the time that I've just personally been in the business, I kept hearing that, well, you know what, I got a nice fat contract, but I can't say so much about the support. It seems like I'm always trying to even have to figure out a way to go direct to get an answer for anything. And we're finding that there really just weren't any other value-added type benefits or services available. So part of our program really involves much more than just the high payout. We're looking at offering health, vision, and dental benefits to our producers. And at this point, we are the only general agency out there that has the ability to do this.
Yeah, and when we talk about that in the second segment, I think you're going to have to put a pencil to all this and say, wow, this is really a good comp package. Before we head to the second segment, I want to talk about if you're making the difference between street and the bonus that we're paying, we pick up, just to get the full math on the comp alone, forget the benefits for a moment. I put the FICA match, the Social Security match, on the above street level all the way up to, so it could be anywhere, like I said, 25, 30 points, right? Or more. We're paying the matching FICA on that. Up to whatever I think it is. I think it's 90,000 or something like that, adjusted gross income. So now we're really saying more. We're actually paying more than the actual number when you put the all-in total. Why did you go down that road?
Well, because again, number one, we wanted to make sure that we found different ways to accommodate our agents and find ways to benefit them for producing through our agency with our carriers. And it's a team effort. We really are becoming partners with our agents in this situation, and we're inviting producers to become part of our elite producer program for that reason. And this is not possible without you as a producer partnering with our agency, because we just want to, it's just not all, take. We want to make sure that we're giving back to the producer, and this gives you an incentive to write business through us and take advantage of our health benefit plan. So the FICA match, that again is something that is unique to Brokers Alliance.
So if I take my total comp plus my FICA, that's my cash benefit. In the second segment, we're going to go through all these other benefits. I mean, these are quite a list here. Besides the FICA match on the bonus, we're going to be bringing up all these things like E&O and all the perks of the health benefits, including vision, dental, short and long-term disability, some of these things that we're going to be bringing up, plus CE credits. And I'm just looking at all this list of services. We have now gotten into several things like turnkey marketing systems, like on premium financing is a big one right now.
Sales concepts, ways to make it easier for you to find the need for your client, fill that need, and we have complete backroom support, which we'll touch on as well in the next segment in terms of how we can help you find the right carrier and product, the underwriting involved, and so forth.
I really like the fact, because we really are a huge shop. At the time that we're recording this, we're almost at 1,000 apps a month. and we have in-house underwriters.
Right.
That's kind of unique. Talk a little bit about that.
That's very unique. We have underwriters that have, probably combined 60 plus years experience, and number one, we do order medical records for a majority of our cases when they come in. So if, say, an application is received, we order medical records, it's rated or declined, then what we do is we take those medical records and we give them to our in-house underwriter. They literally go through with a fine-tooth comb, and they will find all the positive aspects, the credits, the debits, figure out what the underwriter had an issue with, if there's something in it that maybe they overlooked, and they'll take a look and say, oh, you know what, Mr. Underwriter at home office, this is something that you should really take a look at. And really try to go back for a better offer. Now, on a pre-application, informal type basis, we do the same thing. We actually have our own informal application form that you can use as a producer. We have a HIPAA that can be signed. We can go out there, get those medical records, and then from there, we'll take the information, do the same thing. We're going to summarize it, take a look at what our best options are, where, and that way we can make sure that we find out who to go with before we even find that or submit it to the carrier.
Well, that's what we like to do. We would like to track down the mitigating items to prelims as well as formals. And I've noticed I'm going to say in my career, the ability to have an in-house underwriter can circumvent about 30% of your postpones, your declines, or heavily rated cases that can't be placed because the numbers are just too big.
Exactly.
And so it's really important to partner with MGAs. Now, there's several great shops in the United States that are have great underwriting support, and we have some great underwriters in-house.
Right.
And we also track all our production. Because of that, we're able to get some production credits on cases, and some of our producers are big enough that we even get that on them. I'm just adding to the life credits of the
absolutely.
case. So there's a lot of provision that we've given kind of a wide latitude in our underwriting because we want our cases to have the best possible chance of being actually placed.
Right.
So I like paid cases.
Exactly. That's how you get paid, is on a paid case. You can't get paid otherwise.
Yeah, because everything we're going to talk about in the next couple segments, those are all great. But if I can't get paid on my case,
what's the point of it all?
What's the point? Yeah.
Right.
When we talk about trying to put together the largest compensation package, you should see how these numbers function with the top, I'm going to say, 8 to 10 carriers.
Right.
Because those numbers are really substantial.
Absolutely.
So I want to encourage you, if you're sitting there saying, well, what should I do? Well, I want you to call 1-800-290-7226, extension 147, or write Jessie direct at jessica@brokersalliance.com. I was about to give you your personal cell and home number. No, okay. And so if you want to call Jessica's one of the major architects of this entire compensation system. She's designed it with you in mind. Our brokers are number one in our heart. I say, by the time you get done looking at this package, you'll say, I've seen no other MGA offer the value-added support and the ancillary benefits, especially the health idea and so forth that we're going to get into. I think that's important. Don't you think that's important?
Absolutely. It's crucial.
I mean, after Obamacare, this could be a huge issue.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really huge.
Absolutely.
When I think about all the times we're looking at different ways to make our system better, a month from now, we're going to be adding a new turnkey marketing system that will help you contact. It's just going to get better. It's a contact system, absolutely turnkey for referrals and everything. It's just fantastic. Well, listen, in our next segment, we're going to review the benefits and services on our a la carte menu for our partnership package, and we're going to have a little bit more to talk about specifically on these benefits right after this break from Western Reserve Alliance. Steve Savant here, the host of the radio talk show, The Quest for Financial Freedom. For years, I've heard less than 2% of all term life insurance actually ended in a claim. That's not many claims, and the claims that did pay, well, the clients had to die to receive the benefits. That's the old term insurance. Now start selling the new term insurance. The term insurance that covers your client during a chronic illness, covers your client in a catastrophic event, covers your client in a terminal illness, and pays their monthly premium during periods of unemployment. What term insurance can do all that? Western Reserve's Alliance Advantage Term with living benefits. No other consumer life insurance product bundles so many solutions to meet so many of life's unexpected problems, all in one policy. For more information, call Brokers Alliance at 1-800-290-7226. Well, welcome back, everyone, to our Bravo webinar event. for Brokers Alliance Elite Producer Program, the most comprehensive compensation package in the country. And of course, with me is my co-host, Jessica Lopez. Hey, Jess. I want to talk about how everybody can watch this on www.brokersalliance.com/webinar, or you can always go out to our regular website, www.brokersalliance.com, and on our homepage at the upper right, you'll see a big red button that says Archives. You can click on that, and any of our videos are out in our archive area. And of course, we distribute to YouTube, Vimeo, Agent Navigator, Insurance News Net. So you can see all our videos on any of those areas. And of course, you can always hop out to our social networks on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and where I blog, the Insurance Forum. And I must say, I've never seen so many twits, because I'm getting Twittered to death. I love it. It's just fantastic. Well, in our second segment, we got to get into some of these value-added issues.
Yes.
And I want to talk about our first one here, because we talked about underwriting in the generic.
Right.
But now we're talking about underwriting large cases.
Yes.
Because, we do have kind of a note. People know, wow, you guys are a huge term shop.
Yes.
So sometimes they don't think, well, we don't do other cases. But a third of our production is huge cases. Talk a little about big case underwriting.
All right, big case underwriting. As I kind of touched on in the segment just before this, we have our own informal application that you are more than welcome to use. And you have a situation where you have a client where looking for a larger face amount. We actually had a case just last year, and this particular client, we needed an SUL. Her husband was uninsurable. She was ranging anywhere from a table D to a standard, and we needed a standard to make this thing work. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we went ahead, we went after the medical records, we had her sign the HIPAA form, we gave it to our in-house underwriter, and she just went through it with a fine-tooth comb, found all the potential problems that could arise that would maybe end up with a result of a table rating, knowing very well we needed a standard. Went through, okay, look, it actually involved her having to go back to the doctor and do a couple more tests and confirm everything is fine, because there just was a large period of time there where she hadn't been seen. So we did that, came back, the offer was standard for her, and with that particular company, we were able to place the case, and that was over $750,000 in target premium.
Of target premium, not the death benefit.
Target premium. That case also involved hunting down and chasing after 1035s. We had 3 companies we had to go after money for, to make sure that rollover happened okay. And our key case managers here go in there, do that. They're on top of it. We're not sitting back waiting for something to happen. We're proactively going out there with these larger cases and every other case that we're working on. We also have advanced case design specialists here. Premium finance, Eric Palmer, is a big part of that as well. And we have unique relationships with those in the finance industry, banks that can give us some pretty good deals in terms of working this out and working closely with our carriers as well.
I really like the ability for us to work with different institutions. It shows our objectivity, and we're always shopping, especially in the premium financing area.
Yes.
We're always trying to shop for the best deal.
Absolutely.
Because, we are taking a loan out, so we want to make sure we have the best number. And, we work with, we have our own, for people who are FINRA licensed. We do have our own broker-dealer if you need it.
Absolutely. We do have a relationship now with J.P. Turner, and they have actually been a big part lately in terms of referring agents over to us who need health benefits. Again, we're going to touch on that here in the third segment in detail. But if you have a variable license, you write securities business, you are more than welcome to tie into a relationship with them as well, and we can definitely go into that arena if we needed to go ahead and do so. You
just brought up something that I just want to make sure all our listeners and viewers really lock into, which is, we really do recommend, we're just for life and annuity producers, but we have many of our registered reps that are FINRA licensed, and many of those could be money managers, asset allocators, registered investment advisors. That's all but most of them are going to do about a dozen cases. Outside in the annuity and life area, perfect for our program.
Absolutely, it sure is. And we've structured our production requirements just for that reason. We understand that you're not necessarily just selling fixed life and annuity business. You may be selling variable products. You may be selling health insurance, disability, whatever the case is. We get that, we understand it, and we just want to make sure that you have the ability to take advantage of this program as well.
You know, Jess, I want us to talk about this new technology because I must say, when you think about Brokers Alliance, we create time for our agents. We do it by technology, information, marketing, and education. Time,
Right.
T-I-M-E. With this new technology called iRelay,
Yes.
I mean, we're almost done with email, right? I mean, I don't want to get too excited here, but it sounds like we're beyond email, fax, scan. We're in a whole nother system here.
Oh, yeah.
Talk
absolutely.
a little bit about that.
Okay, absolutely. The way that you can submit applications to our agency, there's a couple of ways to do it. And a couple of the key ways that we are in the process of, or actually have laid out already, is our upload tool through our Brokers Alliance website. So say, for example, you do take an application, you fill it out. You typically would maybe fax that in, scan and email it in.
I'd mail it in.
You know, or mail it in, whatever
Horror.
the case is. Well, now you have the opportunity. I mean, if you're going to fax or scan the application in any way, you can simply just send it from your desktop up to your case manager here. Now,
But that's real time now.
yeah, absolutely.
And I thought you were also explaining when I first was introduced to this, when I first came here, that carriers are doing the same.
Yes.
So everything that's happening, whether it's Brokers Alliance, our agents putting this on iRelay,
Yes.
or the carriers, or our paramedics, it's all real time, live.
Exactly.
No drag time.
Right, and where the iRelay system comes into play with this is when you send the application to us, whether it be through our upload tool, if it's through the iGo application, digital application process, and if you still want to fax or email it, that's perfectly fine. We actually do all the data entry here in our office. Now, if you get into the iRelay system, this is a management tool for you as a producer. You can manage your leads, you can market to your prospects, you can keep in touch with your existing clients through the system, and when you send us an application, we are going to enter it in our system, and then you're going to see all of that data on the system. So you're going to see the rate class, the product, you're going to see the premium, you're going to see the underwriting notes, you're going to see all the requirements. Everything that we're doing, you're going to see. Now, we also receive live updates from the carrier every night, or even some real time. And as soon as we receive an update, it carries over to your system, and you know exactly what's going on all of the time.
You mentioned, now I want to make sure I have this right. If I use this technology, and it's very powerful, it also could be a marketing tool. Because you said we already have turnkey marketing system contact information for email contact, maybe blast fax, some of these things already built in. And there's a couple of those ideas that I thought were pretty good. Absolutely. And when I look at iRelay, you told me something that's shocking, and that's why I want to push this right now. If we use this correctly, if our producers see this value, we generally can cut off 2 weeks in our total overall time to issue, which I think is the very big reason for iRelay. I mean, everything else setting aside, I just cut 2 weeks off to issue. If I've cut 2 weeks off to issue, I've only increased my ability to get paid earlier.
Right, and we're always taking steps to make sure that we're cutting back underwriting time. So not just the management tool and the upload tool, we're ordering medical records for probably 90% of our producers. You're welcome to order your own if you wish, but we prefer to do it because we have more control over it. We can go and go to the vendor and say, hey, what's going on? Why isn't the exam uploaded yet? We can send that off to the carrier, shave off some time. And again, we do order medical records for most of the cases that come in here at the time the application comes in. So all of those things together help to reduce that underwriting time.
Well, I have to say, and I'm still a little caught being a baby boomer and being in the business long. I feel like I'm still trying to get caught up. Just about the time I got caught up, we're doing iRelay, and look at all that it's doing for our people. That I love that our producers benefit by a shorter time period to issue. To me, that's very important.
Absolutely, it sure is. Because like as you mentioned earlier, until that case goes paid, nobody gets paid, right?
Well, getting paid is everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into more detail in terms of who we're looking for to be a partner with Brokers Alliance and take advantage of everything that we've mentioned so far. And then in the third segment, we'll get into the health benefits and how the package works. And
yeah, you're holding back on that, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
All
That's exciting stuff.
It is.
So we're really looking for 2,000 agents nationwide to be part of our agency in terms of the Elite Producer Program. That's about 40 agents per state, and the reason why we're focusing in on getting that number of agents is because this is a special program. We are wanting to build a sound relationship and partner with our producers. And so, we're looking to be committed to you, and we're looking for a commitment from you, and that's how this all works. We are looking.
I love that corporate courtship language.
Yes.
I'm looking for commitment from you. We're committing to you, you to us. Yeah, I love that.
So, basically in terms of who we're looking for, E&O coverage is important. You either have to have E&O coverage, or we offer that to you, and we'll touch on that in just a moment. Also, if you have to be in good standings with the Department of Insurance, don't have a record of vector hits, any type of debit balances and things like that. And if something happened in the past, just let us know what the situation was. We're very good at, finding ways around things, and we're going to absolutely vouch for you if we find that, look, yeah, so I had a policy that lapsed. I'm on a payment plan with a carrier and I'm paying it back. Okay, fine. We'll work around that. Also, we're just looking for producers who can at least do a minimum of $25,000 in fixed or index life paid premium, or $500,000 in paid annuity premium.
Well, I want to go back just to make sure I understand, because of all the economic pressures that have been, especially in the housing market, some of our producers have suffered under the short sale scenario, or even foreclosure, just because everything is so upside down.
Right.
And we've been able to mitigate several scenarios where we've been able to reposition our agents' files, because everybody's kind of starting to warm up to this idea that many people have been hurt by this.
Right.
So that's no longer a deal killer.
Right, that's no longer a deal killer. We'll go in, we'll take a look at your personal situation, and a lot of the times it's totally unrelated to the industry.
Exactly.
A foreclosed home, a divorce, whatever the case is, if there's a situation there, we look at that ahead of time. That way you know what's going to happen and what we need to do to make sure we can get you appointed.
So if I have E&O, great. If I don't, I can get it.
Yes.
If I have any vector issues, I can see if those relate to some of the things we've been talking about.
Yes. And
we're talking about a minimum threshold of $25,000 worth of life and/or annuity premium.
Correct.
I think that's pretty fair.
Absolutely, I agree. And let's just go over exactly how the program works. Now, I know you've all been waiting. Okay, great. High payouts, all these services, these tools, accommodations. Okay, so what's the catch? Well, there really is no catch. We basically are wanting to partner with you, and this is how it works. Basically, so that you're all clear on how we basically use our override. We do use the override that we normally earn, just like in my example earlier, where in that example, the GA kept $750 out of that particular case. We normally keep the override that we earn to process business, offset the cost of marketing that we're required to do by the carriers, pay salaries, make sure that everything is in good order and in place so that your cases can go through the channels that it needs to and be paid so that you get a paycheck. Okay, so what we've done is we basically taken the time to develop this program to where we recruit a group of agents that all pitch in together an annual membership. So we do charge an annual fee in order to help offset the cost of us doing business. And also in terms of the health benefits, which we will touch on, you are responsible for paying 50% of your health benefit premium. We actually pay the other 50%. And then if you have any dependents that need coverage, then that would be your responsibility, 100% premium.
Yeah, but it's group. Well, we're going to get into it in the next segment, but it's group, and we'll talk about that because it's very important.
Right, absolutely.
When I look at these numbers of what I need to do to stay inside the Elite Producer Program, what is that price tag? What's my annual membership fee? What is that fee?
That annual membership is $1,500. $1,500, and it's based on the date that you sign the contract. So say you sign up in June, it'll be June to June, and that's going to lock you into the highest payout possible on everything that you write, fixed index life and annuity products. Okay, and all we're asking is that you write the $25,000 in paid commissionable life or $500,000 in annuity, or both, because we will weigh the value of your annuity premium into your life. And we also do have a minimum app count requirement because we know that there are going to be opportunities there, and I hope that you all find them where you're going to have one case that's $25,000 in target life or a nice annuity. So we do ask that you write 12 and pay for 12 applications per year.
Well, I like that because that's pretty good threshold. Most people playing as a financial professional in our market, really that's not a big threshold to overcome.
Exactly.
So when I'm looking at the total amount, $25,000 at the target premium, I'm thinking even people who are very good at selling term and investing the difference, right? People that actually sell term, when they look at the average term case, well, you'd think ours is pretty small, but it isn't really that small. So
No.
you're going to sit there and say, boy, you know, I think I can do that at least in term alone. Right. If I had to, I'm thinking the worst scenario. But also because of our indexed inventory and our MVA annuities and some of the medically underwritten SPIAs that we're looking into now, I think you got to take another whole look at this, because hitting these numbers, and think about it, our fee is paying our admin acquisition cost.
Exactly.
We're not marking this up. We're not making money. We're just paying our front to, you know, we have to spend money to put you into our system. That's what really costs us. That's why we're asking for a little skin in the game.
Exactly. And at $1,500, you may think, oh, $1,500, what exactly does that pay for? That doesn't seem like a whole lot.
It isn't.
Right?
It's our admin issues up front.
Exactly. So what we do, you know, as a partner, everybody who is in the Elite Producer Program, that $1,500, you know, basically goes into an account, and those funds are used to make sure that we continue to be staffed up and that we continue to be able to service you. And so with that ultimate option, now just to be clear, we have two options, our ultimate option and our deluxe option. This ultimate option is the one without the health benefits, and this is where you get an average of a 30% bonus over Top Street commissions for life and an average of 1% over Top Street for annuity.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Even E&O, once you pay the quarterly premium, they let you elect, if you want, to pay it monthly.
Yes.
And I don't know too many people that
Not
allow
a
you to do
lot
that.
out there
So just on the E&O issue, and we're talking about $1 million of coverage, $2 million aggregate.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly right. So if you want it, it's there for you. The nice thing about this policy is that you technically own it. We take care of, you know, paying it on your behalf and so forth. But you're covered for everything.
So we're their bookkeeper too.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. And then you have this iRelay, which is for $35. You'll save that in postage.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so we're talking a small amount. Now talk about this personal case, this client service, because everybody sometimes gets stuck on wow, what am I paying $200 on top of my $1,500 fee for?
Exactly. And the nice thing about this is that it is an a la carte system. You can take it or you can leave it. And we build it this way because you may choose one thing over the other. Now the client services aspect of this, number one, you are assigned your own personal team here at Brokers Alliance. You have your own personal case managers, marketing reps, and so forth. So if you need some more time to sell, so for example, you are out there, you're pounding the pavement, you're on the phone, whatever the case is, you're writing an application, you finally submit it to the carrier or to us, and then we contact you and say, oh, guess what? You forgot to answer number 3, section A, and we need the details. You get the details to us, and then Retta comes back, okay, well, look, we want to go ahead and get this other questionnaire. Something happens. We're going to call you again and say, hey, look, Mr. Agent, you know, we need this information. Meanwhile, you're trying to go out there and make more sales. Okay. Now, if you're lucky enough and to have been pretty successful and you've been able to hire an assistant, that's fantastic. Hopefully, that person's taking care of all of that underwriting stuff for you. If not, you have an option here to where if you go out, get the application completed and signed, you can simply zip that on over to your personal case manager here. And they are going to literally call your client, make sure that they introduce themselves as their case manager throughout this process. And they're going to order the exam.
It's really seamless to the client.
Absolutely. They know our case manager as your assistant. And they're going to schedule the exam, get any missing details, and they're going to keep them posted and up to date with everything that's happening throughout the entire underwriting process.
Yeah, you couldn't touch $200 a month on a private temp.
Oh, no.
You just couldn't.
Oh, no.
And then the CE, $5.
Right, $5.
I mean, think about that. And, of course, this plan for life, we'll pick that up. We'll talk a little bit about that on the other side of the break.
Absolutely.
Because I really like that.
And it's a $1,000 savings. It's absolutely free.
It's real savings. Well, listen, when we come back, we're going to talk about that plan for life, and then we're going to get into the whole health benefits, because that will be a monster perk.
Absolutely.
One of the big provisions of this package. We'll be right back after this word from Western Reserve Alliance. Steve Savant here, the host of the radio talk show, The Quest for Financial Freedom. For years, I've heard less than 2% of all term life insurance actually ended in a claim. That's not many claims, and the claims that did pay, well, the clients had to die to receive the benefits. That's the old term insurance. Now start selling the new term insurance, the term insurance that covers your client through chronic illness, a catastrophic event, a terminal illness, and pays their monthly premium during periods of unemployment. What term insurance can do all that? Western Reserve's Alliance Advantage Term with living benefits. No other consumer insurance product bundles so many solutions to meet so many of life's unexpected problems, all in one policy. For more information, call Brokers Alliance at 1-800-290-7226. Well, welcome back, everyone, to our Bravo webinar event for Brokers Alliance Elite Producer Program, the most comprehensive compensation package in the country. I'm Steve Savant, host of the radio talk show host, The Quest for Financial Freedom, and of course with me is my co-host and architect of the Elite Producer Program, Jessica Lopez. Hey, Jess.
Hi.
I want to remind everyone, Jess, right now you can watch this on www.brokersalliance.com/webinar, or you can go out after the show and you can watch this on our website. Just go to our homepage, www.brokersalliance.com. As soon as you come to the homepage, you'll see a big red glaring button on the upper right. It says Archives. Click on it, and any video are going to be in that section of our archives, and you can watch that. But on top of that, we also distribute to our YouTube, Vimeo accounts, as well as Insurance News Net and Agent Navigator. And of course, don't forget, we're socially connected with Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and where I blog on the Insurance Forum. I want to just talk about all these things we're talking about are just so super. But before we go on, I just wanted to catch this, how we save. Where's the money layout? And I love this slide because it kind of lays it all out.
Absolutely. Just to touch on exactly where you're saving with the program, with iRelay, there is normally a setup and training cost of $3,000, and through our Elite Producer Program, that is absolutely waived. And so if you were to go through on your own, you can absolutely go out there and
And
get
there's some
iRelay
people
on your
that
own.
do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that through
I
our
don't know why
program,
you would.
$3,000. And the nice thing about this too is that if for whatever reason you decide that you don't want to work with Brokers Alliance anymore, you can still maintain the system, pay the $35 a month, and it's yours to keep. We're not capturing your data or anything like that. It is your system. CE credits, if you decide to take advantage of the unlimited CE credits, just kind of, it depends on the producer. You may be licensed in multiple states, and you're always having to spend the lovely, 45 minutes in CE training. If you pay $5 a month, then, you know, depending on how many states you have to go in, you may be saving at least $60 a year. Looking at the Plan for Life software, that is free to our elite producers. We normally charge $1,000, and that is a needs analysis tool. And what it does is it basically enables you to literally go through your client's portfolio and see where their shortfalls may be.
It does a lot of planning strategies.
Absolutely.
And I like it personally because it's color coordinated, and anytime you see red on the Plan for Life,
That's bad.
That's bad. Okay. That's bad.
That's bad. Now, as far as the office assistant is concerned, as we talked about in the last segment, you know, just depending on whether or not you would go out there and hire somebody part-time or full-time, you could save $30,000 a year in just that.
I can't explain the leverage that you can get on the iRelay system using this kind of internal case management way that we do this without spending serious money on a temp. This is why I think this is a huge leverage play. And of course, when you see how this works, and you could always say, oh, I tried it, I didn't like it, but I think you're going to like it, and you're going to, well, the best part you're going to like it is the balance sheet item on this, because this is a great way to play.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let's get into my favorite part of the show.
The health benefits.
The health benefits. And I mean, if you're like me, if you're a baby boomer, born 46 to 64, and you're kind of getting up there, health insurance is pretty pricey.
It is.
And a lot of our producers came back and said, Steve, you know, I can't get insurance. I got table issues, my own life, and so forth. This is a true, I want to make sure I'm right, a true group in health insurance.
Right.
So no one's turned down. It's group. It's our group
plan. It's your true group plan. And we've done our homework. We picked the largest network that's available out there, so your existing physician is more ting likely in the network that we have.
And are we allowed to say the name on the air?
Aetna.
Aetna. And by the way, I'd love to see a little bit of a commercial cha-ching for bringing them up on live.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we have our health, dental, short-term, long-term disability, and even a life plan that we pay for you. That's $10,000 in death benefit all through Aetna. Okay.
So you get dental and vision.
Right.
And I have this as well, and it's nothing. The dental and vision is very inexpensive. Now, what if I want that for my spouse and my children, though?
You can absolutely add it. You're responsible for 100%
You pay that.
Exactly,
but we pay 50% of the
producer.
Of the producers. Wow, I think that's huge.
Absolutely.
And it automatically comes with a $10,000 minimum life. But could they buy more? Because it is group.
Absolutely. If you wanted to purchase more, you're more than welcome to do that. And we make the process very easy and streamlined. We give you a doctor locator link beforehand, and we show you what those plans would look like in your state. We're going to touch on those plans here in just a moment as well. And the premiums, of course, now with all the changes that happen in the industry, they're going to vary a little bit by state, but not a big issue. Now, another thing is that we do also, in explaining how you're paid out, we do pay a large portion of your bonus from here, Brokers Alliance. You get everything else from the carrier, commission 1099 as usual. For the amount that we pay you, you are also welcome to contribute to a 401k that we have available.
Wow. And that, of course, our vendor on that is John Hancock.
Right, and actually you have more options now than just John Hancock. We actually use a PEO service that enables you to have a wide variety of places to choose from. So 401k is a huge issue if you're trying to put some money aside. Absolutely.
And you want it to be auto-plated so you don't have to be sitting at the end of the year trying to do your own personal SEP IRA or whatever.
Right.
That could be huge.
Yeah, I have some producers that are putting their entire bonus into the 401k.
Wow.
It's a pretty slick deal. Now, in terms of details to the Deluxe package, this is how it works. With this particular option, you are still getting paid above Top Street commission by bonus dollars. So you're going to get an average of 20% over Top Street commissions in life, and 0.5% anywhere from that to 1% over Top Street in annuity. The production requirement on this is only slightly higher, and this is just because we need to make sure that, again, this is a team effort here. There's enough production there to qualify you for the health benefits, and that's $50,000 in paid commissionable life premium or $1 million in annuity. Again, combination of the two is perfectly fine. 24 life applications or annuity applications paid per year is all that we're asking.
I think that's totally reasonable, especially when you think of the time between January and April when qualified plan season is. Most professionals usually pull about $1 million in qualified plan, either contributions and or rollovers, all within that 3 or 4 month period. So that should be pretty easy to do.
Absolutely. And this option, the Deluxe option, is where we obviously would match FICA on your bonuses.
Yeah, again, I just want to point this out. We talked about this in the first segment, but this is when you do your comp, don't forget to do your compensation. When you're figuring out how great this deal is, don't forget to add the FICA on our bonus number, because that becomes 7.65 up to, I think, again, 90,000 of adjusted gross income.
Absolutely.
That could be that's like a bonus on a bonus.
It is. It is a bonus on a bonus. Now, for this particular option, you do have an annual membership as well, and that's $1,200. It's a little bit less than the ultimate because the compensation is a little bit less, but again, you're right, Steve, if you take in consideration the fact that we're matching FICA and you're still getting a bonus on top of that, it's a nice combination.
I'm telling you, it's the best compensation package, and I'm not saying this because of my huge relationship with Brokers Alliance, but I'm saying it because I just haven't seen. And if you see something out there that's better, I'd love to know about it and say, hey, Steve, here's this MGA, he's doing that. But I really think that Joe Racich and yourself, when you put this deal together, when you design this, we designed this with our producers in mind, to try to look at every angle that would be supportive of them, including their own personal benefits, personal FICA taxes, personal support.
Exactly.
That's what we were after.
Absolutely. And in terms of the packaging for this particular option, we do also charge an account management fee of $225 per month. And what this entails is the management of our benefits, our benefit portfolio. Basically, there is a lot of work that goes into making sure that we constantly have benefits available to you, and we're always going out there and we're shopping for better rates, better deals, and that all comes into play.
In fact, we found a better deal and we went after it.
We sure did. And as far as your health benefits are concerned, if you have your existing health plan, an independent coverage, or whatever the case is, and you're paying a lot for it, we will provide you with the premiums. Take that plus the $225 per month. If you're paying more than that now for your health plan, it makes more sense for you to do this, because in addition to having access to a less expensive health plan, you also have the higher payout.
Well, I love the ability to offer this to our producers, especially those who may have insurability issues, or they want to be able to get the best possible net, because going individual health insurance is a killer right now.
It is.
I don't think it's going to get any better under Obamacare, so this is a huge idea. Well, let's talk about some of these, because you got a kind of a different plans that you can do. Exactly.
We picked the richest plan out there available, and what we did is, with the POS plan that we call our primary plan, we decided that we would choose that plan to match the premium for the producer. So we're taking 50% of that richer plan and paying that on your behalf. So if you didn't choose this plan and you say went with an HSA or the $1,000 deductible, we're actually paying more than 50%.
But when you say richest plan, do you mean this is the Cadillac version?
Yes.
So lower deductible.
Yes.
Right? Higher numbers. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And that to me, I'm on that plan.
Yes.
I think I'm on the Cadillac plan.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm on the pink Cadillac plan. No, well, maybe not the pink one.
Why not? Why not pink?
Well, because I'm not that secure.
So, that's $500 deductible, 80% coinsurance. And, I will send this information to you, of course, just so you know details.
Everybody attending is going to get all this.
Exactly. Okay. So, you're going to see what the premium is exactly for your state, for yourself and any dependents. But, for this particular option, if it's just you as a producer, that's going to range anywhere from $198 to $233 per month.
I think that's so reasonable, and I'm looking now. We talked about the Cadillac plan. There's a couple plans there's two more.
Exactly. We have another POS plan that's $1,000 deductible, 80% coinsurance. That's an option for you as well. Now the plans do vary by state, so there might be some states where only the $1,000 deductible is available, not the $500. Well, you know what? It's still a pretty good plan. Also, you have access to an HSA plan, $3,500 deductible with 70% coinsurance, with of course an adjoining HSA account.
And again, don't memorize this. We're going to send this all to you.
All to you.
All to you anyways. Now, when I look at the secondary benefits, I'm looking at dental and eye care, and Steve needs to go and get his eye. I hate to say it, but it's that optometry, that ophthalmology that I need right now. I need to go in and say the second line, the third line. Talk a little bit about the eyes and the dental.
Well, first of all, with the dental plan, it's also, of course, through Aetna. You have a choice between the DMO and the PPO plan. And really what it has to do with is obviously where your dentist or what network they are in. Now, with the DMO plan, that's a situation where if you, say, just go or braces or things like that, you're going to want to check with your dentist or your orthodontist to see what they have. It may behoove you to change your plan. The nice thing about this is you can actually interchange them. So say if you give your dentist, or I'm sorry, Aetna a 2-week notice, you can say, guess what, I'm going to need to go to the DMO plan. I need some
You don't
extra
have to wait for the annual sign up?
No, and in fact, I've done it myself for my kids.
I love that. And does that work both ways for the eyes and dental, or just for the dental?
Just for the dental.
Just for the dental.
Okay. So if you need to get some major work done and you're on the opposite plan, you can go ahead and make that change.
Wow.
As far as vision is concerned, pretty simple, self-explanatory. It's through Eye Care Plan of America, and inexpensive, and especially if you have kids and so forth, it's a great way to go.
Are we paying half of the producers on this as well?
Yes.
So if a producer's doing his eye care, like everybody over 50 is, right? It's $268, and we divide that by, we pick up that half.
Yeah, that's actually that's considering that we're already paying half, so that's $268.
Oh, so it's $268 a month,
right?
For your eyes. So all of us baby
your eyes
boomers
are worth it.
that belong to the ARP nation, right? You might as well just put that on there because
just get the vision.
We're going to be doing it. Yeah. Okay. Well, talk about these incentives. I mean, I love vacations.
Yes, vacations are always wonderful. Of course, we would believe that everything that we've talked about so far is just something that you'd absolutely want to take advantage of, but we also want to reward our agents for going over and above what we're asking in terms of production. So with that in mind, all of our elite producers have the ability to earn a vacation, and it's all based on production.
Now, this has nothing to do with carrier vacation, does it?
Not at all. And you still qualify for your carrier vacations.
So carrier vacations and Brokers Alliance is putting on a vacation. Okay,
exactly.
I like that.
Exactly. So, for example, on the lower end, if you did $100,000 paid commissionable life or $2 million in annuity, then you get our first line vacation, which is 4-day, 3-night. You can stay at any Hyatt location, and we also give you a $600 airfare voucher to get to where you need to be. Okay.
Wow.
And we'll send you the details on this as well. On the high end, if you did $300,000 paid commissionable life or $6 million in annuity, then you can choose between a stay at the Palace Resorts or a celebrity cruise, and we're going to throw in a $1,000 airfare voucher. And we actually had quite a few elite producers take advantage of this end of last year.
And so, did you go to these as well?
We did not. This is their own personal vacation.
This is their own personal. Oh,
right.
I love that. So this isn't, you have to go to an insurance meeting.
Nope, you don't need it. We need to bore you so that you can have fun also at the end.
I love this. These packages are really great. This is kind of like the icing on the cake of the entire comprehensive compensation package we put together.
Yes.
And I love that you've thought this through, because it's not only the reward of the producer, but 90% of the time, the spouse loves this idea. I mean, and since the vast majority of our agent population is male and baby boomers, I can just tell you from my own experience, my wife loves going on these, and she really loves these vacations because she doesn't have to lose me to the
meetings,
insurance meetings. So, I mean, that's pretty powerful. I mean,
Right.
all the things we've talked about. So when we talk about health benefits, eye benefits, we talk about dental, we've talked about 10,000 life insurance, and you could purchase
Right.
more. I don't know what the limit is. What, is there a limit on that?
400,000.
About 400,000
is the limit on
So
that.
if I had issues in underwriting and I couldn't beat a regular deal that you could come here and buy yourself, this might be a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, and when I say limit to that, that's not underwritten medically. So if you wanted to exceed that, you can. You'd just be subject to an exam, just like all y'all know,
So,
life
so
insurance,
400,000 and below, no exam.
non-med.
So if you still want to do it, you could go above it.
Right.
Well, you need to check into this because I think if you honestly take a pencil to it and break out one of your favorite calculators, I think you're going to find that the math here supports this whole idea of the elite producer program, and we're actually encouraging you
Right.
to look through it and do the math. Now, you've laid out two different situations
Right.
here, and one is a more of a top-end plan. One's a little bit less, but not that much. Actually, the differences aren't that much.
Not that much,
I
especially
say
when you throw in the FICA.
you might as well throw in the FICA. That's what I say. I
Right.
mean, it's just a fantastic deal. When we look at it, we haven't even talked about why you should do business with Brokers Alliance. I mean, we're just talking about the compensation package. It's not that we carry the same, everybody carries about the same inventory of the
Right.
big top 10. We're one of the top 10 in the country. So do our competitors. We pay comp a lot of times. They pay much, and they may even try to match our deal. But nobody has done the integrated, homogenized, comprehensive package that we've put together.
Right.
And as you've said, it's not a take it or leave it. It's all or nothing. You've really a la carte. You've made this. You can either bundle it or you can separate it
Absolutely.
out in a la carte type menu.
Absolutely. We want you to have the flexibility that you need to take advantage of what you need to take advantage of and not pay for something that you don't need.
Lastly, one of the things that we deliver, and we look at this all the time, is we're always doing due diligence on the next value added. One of the things we're going to be rolling out in our next version of EPP, Elite Producer Program, is this I mentioned this earlier in one of our segments, this turnkey marketing
Yes.
system is going to be huge. And when I tell you it's going to be hard for you to be, all you do is when you go ahead and you play in that turnkey system, that marketing turnkey system, you do none of the data uploads. You don't have to do anything. You just tell us, who do you want us to send this to? And we do everything turnkey.
Absolutely.
Later on in the summer, we're going to add another value added. We're bringing on a whole division called SWAT team, selling with a team. It's going to be huge.
Right.
And I mean huge. We're going to have a competition desk. You're up against another carrier. You need help and assistance. We have a whole competition desk we're rolling out sometime this early summer
Yes.
called Countermeasures. It's going to be huge. And in addition to that, we've constructed a whole new underwriting procedure that we call the MASS unit. That also is going to be rolled sometime this, probably a little later on. And then we're working on, everybody seems to have a life evaluation system. Ours is called LIFE, Life Insurance Financial Evaluation.
Yes.
We're going to be taking on not only the in-force ledger, not only examining what new contracts you could go to, and not only that, but looking at the medical if you want us to go that deep.
Absolutely. Yep.
But we're going to be looking at one thing that nobody looks at, and that is the sales strategies of why that contract was written in the first place.
Yes.
That is huge. Why are we just replacing?
Right.
Did the strategy change? And just a little anecdotal example of that is I had a buy-sell agreement that had no buy-sell agreement. It was just insurance. There were no legal docs. So we're going to look at that, and I see something like that, I'm going to say, is that strategy still in vogue for the client?
Exactly.
And are there supporting documents for that? And we have relationships with attorneys
Right.
that will look at this for you and give you a kind of a cursory look. And remember, we're tied in not only to all these carriers, but most of the carriers we play with have huge advanced sales teams
Yes.
with CPAs, accountants,
Yep.
attorneys that deals exclusively in our business, tax, estate, and probate.
Right.
So, I mean, think about that. Why don't you kind of give us a quick summary now, because we're heading to the close, just kind of the whole Elite Producer Program.
Well, basically, we are here to make sure that you have the ability to offer the right carrier's products to your clients. As Steve just mentioned, we're going to even go deeper than what we currently are in making sure that, number one, you're able to do a policy review with your clients and make sure that they do have everything intact. And they're going to basically be like, you know what, my producer literally went in, found that I had something I didn't need. It was the wrong thing. And they're going to then be open with you in terms of what else they're looking for. We're here to provide you with the tools, the concepts, and the compensation you need in order to accomplish all of that.
Remember, all this, if you're going to get all the information, you can call 1-800-290-7226, extension 147.
Yes.
You can write Jessica direct, jessica@brokersalliance.com. And I just want to encourage you, as we're putting this all together, think about the compensations as a full, put a pencil to the balance sheet.
Right.
And really see how much value we've really put together on this. I think you're going to find it huge. Again, you can watch this video again, www.brokersalliance.com. Go out to our website, homepage, hit archives, and you can look at this video and any video. And we thank you for listening today. And remember,
Thank you.
it's all about the money. Well, at least according to ACDC it is.
Absolutely.